Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, misery bots of all ages, back again with another video. This time we're talking about, yes, the Steam Deck and the crazy price hike that happened to the Steam Deck just damn near overnight. Overnight. So this has been something that has kind of sort of been coming, but nobody would have been able to predict that it would be coming to this particular level. And that was evident in the fact when they started to phase out like the LCD model of the Steam Deck. At that point, you can tell that like the price hikes and the shortages everywhere in terms of RAM and all that stuff started to affect Valve, because like why would they phase out like the LCD model, which was the cheapest model? And obviously it's because things are expensive, so they had to make some cuts somewhere. And I think they did that to kind of prolong how long they can keep selling the Steam Deck for the price that they were selling it at. But man, I no one could have predicted how high the Steam Deck will jump, dude. Nobody can predict this. What's up, Collapse? What's good, Collapse? Damn, that shit expensive, bro. It jumped. So right now, that 512 gigabyte OLED model was $549, which at that even at that price, it was pretty expensive. Because when you look at the Steam Deck, even though this first of all, the Steam Deck was 4 years old. Second of all, the Steam Deck is about as powerful as a Nintendo Switch 2. It's about as powerful as a Nintendo Switch 2, and at that moment in time, the Nintendo Switch 2 was actually about $450. So against the OLED, it was really debatable whether you should go with the Steam Deck OLED or like a Nintendo Switch 2, because they both have their pros and cons. The Steam Deck, I think, has like a better battery life. It has the better screen and stuff like that. I think the Steam Deck is maybe slightly more powerful than Nintendo Switch, but nothing to be to where it's noticeable. But then you have the Nintendo Switch, which you're gonna have developers optimizing for the Nintendo Switch. You're gonna have developers creating games specifically for the Nintendo Switch, like the Nintendo games such as Mario and Donkey Kong and stuff like that. But even at 549, it was a bit expensive. It really was. I felt like in time, how with most consoles, the price of it would have dropped eventually, and then when that OLED model would have made it down to about 450 or whatever, I felt like that would have been a really nice sweet spot for the Steam Deck, especially if the OLED version, if they were able to get that OLED version down to 450 from 549 to 449, it would have been able to directly compete with like the Nintendo Switch 2 and been far more competitive, and a really reasonable pickup for most people instead. They had the LCD model, which was actually $400, and in some cases you can actually get it for less than $400. But then they ended up phasing that out, and when they did that, I was like, oh man, something's happening right now. I don't think the price of the OLED was gonna go down, but I didn't think it was gonna jump this high either, bro. I did not think it was gonna jump this high. So from 549 to 789, that's what a $240 price jump. $240 price jump. That's wild to me because it's the same Steam Deck. It's not like a refresher model or anything like that. It doesn't have like an even better OLED screen. It doesn't have like a better battery. It doesn't have like better CPU or better GPU or any of that stuff. It's the same Steam Deck that was $549. And now they raised the price $240. And that's not even the worst of it. You have the 1 terabyte OLED model. The 1 terabyte OLED model was $649, which I thought was, again, pretty expensive. Pretty expensive, but you did get some stuff with the OLED, the 1 terabyte that you didn't get with the 500 gigabyte one. And that is basically outside of the HD OLED screen. It also had like the anti-glare thing to it too. So on top of you getting more memory, you also got like the anti-glare glass or whatever, which may have justified the price a little bit. But that model jumped $300 Steam OS more versatile, and you can emulate Nintendo Switch games. It's actually a superior machine. Okay, okay, yeah, it is. It is. It's, which probably further justifies the fact why they kept it at 549. But at the prices you're seeing here right now, like that OLED, that 1 terabyte one jumped $300, bro. $300. Now, mind you, back in the day when you used to be able to get a refurbished LCD Steam Deck for like $279. A refurbished, see, a 64 gigabyte refurbished Steam Deck for $279. The price of the 1 terabyte now has jumped up $300. So right now, for no reason outside of shortages and supply constraints and stuff like that, you're spending more money than what you would have spent buying a refurbished 64 gig model. That's crazy to me, bro. Just listen to what I'm saying. You used to be able to get a refurbished 64 gig model for $279. The price jump from the 1 terabyte is $300. That's a price jump of $300. The 500 gigabyte one is $540. That's only $30 away from the 279 or $40 away from the 279. Like, that's crazy. You look up All You Can Do. Also, that jump is bananas. I wish I would have took you up on that offer when you had two. Dude, I'm telling you, bro. Besides the fact that it's still a great device. Don't get it twisted. But at these prices, I cannot recommend anybody buy them joints. Maybe you can get lucky and maybe get something off of eBay for cheaper, or maybe some like refurbished joint somewhere for a lot cheaper, for maybe $300-400. But like at this point, like if you want to get into Steam Deck, if you want to get a Steam Deck, I would try to find like an LCD model, like a refurbished LCD model or used or pre-owned LCD model, because you can probably get that for and even that would probably be $400 for like a refurbished joint or for some used joint. Honestly speaking, like an LCD joint, you probably going to be looking at like $400, especially with these price jumps and stuff like that. Hell, it might even be more than that. Honestly speaking, you might come across with what's going on right now. I checked eBay; they going up. That's what I'm saying. Like, with the price going up as much as it did for the OLED models, the LCD models for these joints, even with the used and refurbished joints, you're probably going to be spending $600, bro. You might end up having to spend $600 for a used refurbished LCD model. If that's the case, don't get it. It's not worth it. Do not get it. Do not get it. Like, just let these joints sit on shelves at this point. Because like, if you can get an LCD model for maybe $400, bet, because they were selling for about $400 anyway, and even some of like the refurbished joints were about $300 to $400. So if you can somehow get a refurbished joint for $400, like, go ahead and do that. So like, they got, you can probably get, see, it was between $319 and about $350. With the price hikes going up, they're probably going to be closer to about $400 now. If you can do that, pull the trigger. It says here that there's a refurbished 512 gigabyte OLED one for $629. If you got the bread and it's still in stock, pull the trigger. Pull the trigger, because like I said, that's $629. This model right here is now selling. No, don't pull the trigger on that. That's too much. That's too much. Because this, yeah, no, that's still too much. That's still too much. For a refurbished model, yeah, that's way too much. That's way too much. Because like, the new price for this is $789. The old price for this was $549. So right now, they're literally selling a refurbished model for $80 more than it used to be when it was brand new. Nah, don't do that. Don't pull the trigger on it. Do not pull the trigger. Like, I just noticed like the 1 terabyte one went up in price too. Like, that one's $759 for a refurbished 1 terabyte. Granted, this one is now $950, so it's almost a $200 difference. But at the same time, this price right here is still $100 more than when you used to be able to buy it brand new. So like, yeah, again, your best bet is if they ever have like a LCD refurbished one come in stock, buy that. It looks like they still have those for under $400. And if you want to check out like eBay or Amazon or wherever you can get like GameStop or something like that, wherever you can get like a refurbished or a pre-owned or used LCD Steam Deck, because I'm telling you right now, these OLED ones are they're gonna be $700 and better, no matter where you get it, even if it's a pre-owned one. But you may be able to still get like a refurbished or pre-owned LCD one for maybe four. Honestly speaking, you might even have to, if you really want one, may have to spend 450. But yeah, this is crazy. And this is just speaking to just gaming in general right now. This generation of gaming is pretty cooked, bro. It's pretty cooked. This is the first generation in gaming where the prices of not only just video games, because the price of video games actually went up to $80 this generation. The prices of video games went up, but the console prices have gone up. And not only have the prices of consoles have gone up, gaming consoles have gone up, they've gone up dramatically. Like I knew it was a big deal when these consoles and stuff went up like $50. People was like, oh, it's 2, 3, 4 years into the generation. The prices of these consoles have gone up $50 and stuff like that. Now we're up to a point where the consoles is about $100 to $150 of when the price when they first came out. It's between $100 and $150 from the price it originally came out. The PS5 all digital came out at $399. I think the cheapest you can get it is like $550 for just the all digital one. Like it's crazy. And we're 6 years into the generation. These consoles came out in 2020. The Steam Deck came out in 2022. That one's already 4 years old, and that one just got a $250 to $300 price hike. That's insane to me. And then when you hear what these developers, not even the developers, but these engineers from Sony and Microsoft, they're already talking about the next generation of consoles. Have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? The prices of this generation consoles is what it is, and you already trying to sell us the new generations? First of all, most of these developers haven't even finished optimizing their games to take advantage of the full power of a lot of these consoles. The Xbox One X and the PS5 Pro and stuff like that, like those have not been optimized. Those consoles are not optimized. Like developers are still figuring it out. Like they're still working with Unreal Engine 5. They're still figuring out Unreal Engine 5. And they're not getting everything out of these consoles that they potentially can. And they're talking about starting another generation. Like you got Xbox talking about the Xbox Helix. You have PlayStation talking about the PS6. Like in terms of the Steam machine, it's too late for that one. Because at this point, like Valve has already created the Steam machine. At this point, they're just in manufacturing mode. They're manufacturing it. And if the Steam Deck is looking at this, you have a $950 Steam Deck. The Steam machine is going to be $1,200. Like I can't see the cheapest Steam machine being less than $1,200, bro. There is no way that they can sell it for maybe less than $1,200. Maybe if they sell it without the controller, they can probably get it down to $1,000. I doubt it because the controller is only $100. But I can't see the Steam machine being less than $1,000, bro. No way. And even $1,000 is a bit of a stretch because you have a handheld that came out 4 years ago that's $950. So that's what I'm saying. Like $1,200 is probably going to be the price, unless Valve do something wild and take like a hit on the price, a hit on the cost. Meaning they sell it, they should be selling it for $1,200, but then they take a hit and just sell it for like $1,000, $999 or something like that. And which is still not going to be worth it because the Steam machine is about as powerful as a PS5, and you can get a base all digital PS5 for like $550 or something like that. So the Steam machine is still going to be double the price of a PS5, but it's going to be about as powerful of a PS5. So in this particular case, like with stuff like the PS6 and the Xbox Helix, which is supposed to be like the newest Xbox that they're developing right now, Microsoft and Sony just need to go ahead and delay those, bro. Go ahead and delay those and just keep this generation going for another 3-4 years, bro. Like we can't see another console until like 2030, bro. Because like it'd be wild to start a new generation of consoles before we start getting discounts on the current generation of consoles. That has never happened. That has never happened. Anytime a new generation of consoles come out, the previous generation of consoles have not only gotten sales, but have gotten price drops. Have gotten price drops to less than the price they had when they launched. That's with every generation of consoles. This will be the first generation of consoles where if they were to start the new generation of consoles next year or in 2 more years, because I heard predictions that the PS6 might be 2028 or something like that. This will be the first generation where the new generation came out and this generation of consoles is more expensive still than the price they originally launched. That's wild to me. Steam Machine will be optimized and better catalog. Also, the peripherals are better. Well, that you're talking about the Steam VR joint. I'm not even talking about the VR thing. It's a wrap for that VR thing. I think that's dead on arrival. Just like I think the Steam Machine's actually going to be dead on arrival, bro. Yes, and I see what you mean. It's going to be more optimized. It's going to have like FSR 3 and stuff like that. But the purpose of the Steam Machine was it was supposed to be a base entry level PC for people wanting to get into PC gaming. For $1,000+ I don't see too many. For that price, people are just going to build their own PC for that price. Even if you have to spend a little bit more. Let's say even if you have to spend $1,300-$1,400 to build your own PC or buy like a pre-owned PC or something like that. That would be better than just buying a Steam Machine. Because at the very least, you will have the option to be able to upgrade your PC in the future. Whereas with the Steam Machine, you might be dropping $1,000. Yes, you may get the entry-level gaming experience or whatnot, but you're not going to be able to upgrade your Steam Machine. You're not going to be able to swap out the GPUs or the CPUs or anything. So that's why, like, if somebody's getting into PC gaming, buying the Steam Machine is not really going to be good for them at all. They're better off maybe buying a pre-owned PC or just building their own PC, even if they're having to spend a couple $100 more, because it just gives them that flexibility to be able to upgrade in the future. If you can change out the GPU, it's a go, but you can't. As far as I'm aware, you can't change out the GPU in the Steam Machine. Steam Machine is basically a console, a PC console. So, yeah, I think the PC, the Steam Machine is about to be dead on arrival. Now, will it maybe gain some sales in the future? Maybe, but the question is, will it be too late? Because like I can see the Steam Machine selling when the price on that thing drops. When the price of that thing drops to maybe $700, $750, I can see it starting to really sell a lot. But at $1,000+, nah, it's DOA, bro. That joint's DOA. Like at the end of the day, I think they just need to go ahead and prolong this generation. Don't come out with the PS6 or the Xbox Helix until like 2030. By 2030, realistically, I can then start seeing the prices of these consoles starting to drop to a point where they can become more massively adopted by just the casual audience. Because even now, like the prices of these consoles is a little too expensive for most people. Especially in this economy too. And people ain't thinking about these consoles right now. Especially if you're talking about the prices of them is going up. And not only is the price going up, the next generation of consoles is right around the corner. Why don't I just wait for that next generation of console? Well, the reason you don't want to wait for that next generation console, because if you think the prices for this generation is high, the next generation of consoles is going to be ridiculous. It won't surprise me if we get a damn near $1,000 PS6. It won't surprise me if the next Xbox Helix is $1,000. That won't surprise me if those joints launch at that price. Because the way these prices is going, it just doesn't make the likelihood of PS6 launching at $500-$600 when the PS5 is currently that price. Imagine some shit like that happening. Imagine right now, PS5 all digital, I think is what, $550 or something like that. Let's say $550. I don't remember off the top of my head. Imagine PS6 coming in at $600 while the PS5 all digital is still $550. Imagine that. What's the likelihood of that? What's the possibility of something like that? Mind you, PS5 Pro is damn near is $950. It's damn near $1,000 for the PS5 Pro right now. Imagine them dropping a PS6, which is going to be stronger than the PS5 Pro, and the PS6 dropping at like $600. So you mean to tell me it's more expensive to buy a weaker PS5 Pro that's not going to be able to play all of the games that the PS6 is going to be able to play, because the PS6 is going to be the newer gen console and it's going to be a more powerful console, but the PS5 Pro is $950 and that PS6 is $600? There's no way. There's no way that's going to happen. If they launch the PS6, it's going to be over $1,000 because it has to be stronger than the PS5 Pro. And in order to justify the PS5 Pro being $950, the PS6, which is going to be a more powerful console that's going to be able to play games that the PS5 Pro cannot play, the PS6 is going to have to be over $1,000. There's just no way. There's just no way. And that's what's going to happen if they launch that next generation of consoles before the price of this generation of consoles drop. Collapse says, will you be able to get on the game? I'll be on today till 4 p.m. You're going to get on at 4 p.m.? I don't know if I'll be able to get on today because it's already, it's almost 12 o'clock right now and I haven't been to sleep. So I got to at least get some sleep because my daughter's supposed to be coming through tonight. I might be able to get on probably around 8:30 and play for a couple hours because I got to be to work at 12 o'clock tonight. So I got to get a couple hours of sleep. I'm probably not going to wake up till about 7, 8 o'clock tonight, honestly speaking. But I might be able to get a few games in between like maybe 8:30 and 11. But yeah, like that's in terms of the next generation of consoles. If Sony and Microsoft is smart, they prolong it. Like, and I'm not saying like prolong it, oh, hey, this was supposed to drop in 2028 or whatever, and then 2030 is the same exact console that we would have gotten in 2028. Like, nah, if you're gonna prolong it, obviously test out better CPUs and better GPUs and make the joint even more powerful in 2030. Okay, I can get on at 8. Just text me. I bet. But yeah, so it's not like a situation where, okay, the PS6 was going to drop in 2028 and now they postponed it to 2030, but it's going to be the same joint that would have dropped in 2028. Like, nah. And I know it's a bunch of research and development involved and stuff like that, but if you're going to prolong something, 2 years, which I think they should, just go ahead and make it stronger. Switch out, like, test better CPUs that are as cost efficient and power efficient as the one you would have put, if not better. And same thing with the GPU. Like, by 2030, there probably would be a newer GPU that would be more efficient, or there'll be more advancements in AI that they can put into the PS6 by 2030. So ultimately, postponing it to 2030, the new consoles, Xbox Helix and even the PS6, isn't necessarily a bad thing, because then that gives them things that they can add to those particular consoles to actually make them even more powerful. But it also gives the time for these prices to drop a little bit to where it's more reasonable. You know what I mean? At least let the prices drop to the point where they were when the PS5 and the Xbox One generation launched. You know what I mean? So like this way, if they do launch the PS6, but the PS5 digital version had dropped down to, let's say, its original price at $399. Granted, it would still be the first generation in history where the current generation of consoles didn't get a price reduction before the new generation came in. But at the same time, it also put them in a situation where, okay, the PS5 all digital dropped at $399. They can drop the PS6 all digital one for about $500, and people won't be as mad. Because yes, it's still $100 more than what the PS5 had originally launched at, but at the same time, it's not a situation where, okay, the PS6 is dropping at $500, but this PS5 is still $500 as well. So like, you know what I mean? Like, it's wild. It is so wild, bro. But I think I'm gonna end the video there. I just wanted to talk about how crazy the price of like the Steam Deck is right now. I just wanted to talk about like what that means for the Steam machine And I just wanted to talk about like what this potentially means for this generation. Like, I think this generation is probably going to be the longest generation we ever have. And if I was these companies, it would be smart to make that happen. When you factor in the the price of these machines, like the PS5 is not going to outsell what the PS4 did. Unfortunately, it's not. It's sold very well, but these sales are about to drop, are about to take a decline. Not only that, you think about the optimizations. Like, these developers are still learning how to really optimize for these consoles, for real, for real. And then when you think about like gaming in general, like I don't feel like gaming this generation has really hit its stride like it did with the previous generations, like it did with the PS2, like it did with the PS3, like it did with the PS4, where like you get 4 or 5 years into a generation and bang, you getting hit with like iconic games that people still talk about to this day. Like, yes, we've had some good games this generation, but there's none that I can think of where I was like, okay, this is the game of this generation. Yeah. My favorite game this generation was probably Returnal right now. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, your life is fantasy. Let me know what y'all guys think of this generation. Do you think it should be prolonged? Do you think this generation of consoles should go to 2030? Do you think they should launch the new generation of consoles in a year or two? Do you think the new generations of consoles should come out in 2027 or 2028? Or do you think they should push it back to 2030 or even further? Do you think that these games that we have now are well optimized for the consoles that they're on right now? Or do you think they can do better with optimization? Do you think that like gaming this generation has hit a nice stride where there's like a decent cadence of games dropping on a regular, or just games that are so iconic? I know some people might say like Ark Survivors or something like that. I know some people would probably say that. There's a lot of people that love that game. Kudos to them. I know you got games like Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals, very good game. Very good game. Marvel Rivals is a game that came out this generation, but I mean, I find it weird that a game like Marvel Rivals couldn't run on like a PS4. So yeah, it's not a game where I look at it and it's like, this game could not run on a PS4. Like, no, it probably could run on a PS4 if the devs wanted to optimize it better. You do have games like Battlefield 6. It's a good Battlefield game. I would say it's one of the best Battlefield games, but it's still not an iconic game. It's not like a Cyberpunk 2077. It's not a Witcher 3. It's not a Last of Us or anything like that. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, your life is a fantasy.
To them young boys in the hood with big dreams of being superstars, don't let nobody tell you that you can't, but you gotta work super hard. To the older man who feels his life is over cause he wasted it standing on corners, one thing I learned about the streets, it's never too late for a come up. I was told before that I couldn't do it. I remember being told by my own peeps not to rap, and singing in my hood wasn't popular, but I got respect for it cause I was a beast. Facts. If you got a dream, you gotta stay committed, you can get it, but you gotta be a beast, you can't slack for a minute. Remember this.